Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna get into a variety of topics, but this first topic, we're gonna talk about this 7,500 electric vehicle tax credit, specifically Tesla. And there's been some moves by Congress, Republicans, to try and end this, and they've got a specific end date in mind. We'll talk about that, plus what might have happened or what's happened in the past to maybe give us some context and what could happen if it is successful and the 7,500 tax credit is deleted. So we're going to get into that plus a variety of topics, but before we do that, let's roll that intro really quick. All right, so thanks for watching another stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla deal hacking, as I like to call it. But basically, just getting the best on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested, and definitely check out my Patreon link down below in the description, where you can support the channel and get access to the ultimate Tesla buying guide out there. And if you got a question you want to ask me one-on-one, you can do that down below at my Patreon link. Today's live stream is sponsored by Aura, where you can protect your online identity and much more, but more on that later. And so, breaking: Republicans in Congress want to kill the 7,500 tax credit. It seems like they've proposed this at the where for the bill that is about to come out, and they want to end this on December 31st, 2025. And so that gives us a long runway, which is, I guess, good news, right? It's not like it's coming out of the blue and they're trying to kill it like tomorrow or next month or even this quarter. And that gives us a big runway, which we'll talk about what this could happen with the market effect, specifically Tesla incentives, if this is actually going to be the case. But still, this is probably very early on. You can see the full documents of the bill and everything here on this link. I guess I'll put it in the live stream chat if you want to take a look at it. But very interesting to see that they're looking to do this, which, I mean, they've been looking to do this for a while, or at least rumblings in the background. Republicans in Congress are looking to end the 7,500 EV tax credit on December 30th, 2025, along with the $4,000 previously owned clean vehicle tax credit as well, the used tax credit, according to a new bill that was just released. With respect to any vehicle placed in service after December 31st, 2025, such vehicles shall not be treated as a new vehicle, clean vehicle, for the purpose of this section during the period beginning December 31st, 2009 to ending in December 31st, 2025. The number of covered vehicles manufactured by the vehicle which are sold for the year is greater than 200,000 units. Republicans also want to end the clean vehicle credit, commercial clean vehicle, and alternative vehicle refueling property credit on December 31st, 2025. And so we're still very early. Of course, this has to pass in the House and Senate, and then of course has to be signed by the president, but still very early on. And now we can at least track this. And now we've got an end date in sight if this passes, which, I mean, it may pass, and everybody worried about this 7,500 disappearing. Here is your signal with that. And so what's going to happen from now until the end of the year is we might not see as many incentives, because if more people know about the 7,500 disappearing, there will already be a rush to buy Tesla vehicles no matter what. And so if you want to lock in a 7,500 federal tax credit on a vehicle, on a Model 3 or Model Y, the 1.99% interest rate, the 0%, I mean, this could be, if it gets more teeth, the bill gets more teeth, then we could see like this. It could be the best incentives we see for the year. So if you don't want to gamble anything, of course, you can go ahead and place a deposit on a Tesla vehicle, and don't forget to use a Tesla referral code, just like the one down below in the description, so you can get 3 months of full self-driving added to your Tesla order. So definitely check that out. We also got our best deal spreadsheet down below in the description as well, so you can see some of the deals that we're tracking and finding that have some of the bigger discounts. But it's also getting pretty sparse in terms of Model 3 discounts, because really that's the only one that we're seeing between Model 3 and Model Y actually seeing some sort of discount. And so certainly, let's talk about what's happened in the past. So this is not the first time at all between what has happened in the past, between all the different time frames that the tax credit has disappeared. I think it went away in 2020, give or take, and then it came back in 2023. And so I remember specifically when it went away in that time, and that was really when Tesla sold too many units, over like 200,000 vehicles, and it phased out from like 7,500 as a tax credit down to 3,750. And so there was a rush to try and get people, or to lock in and get in vehicles for people trying to lock in that 7,500. And then when it came back, there was also a rush because Tesla just gave the 7,500 discount. So I certainly feel like the Tesla buyer is a little bit more aware of these different incentives. I mean, Tesla definitely is aware of all these different incentives. That's why they highlight it, and that's why they're able to show like really low lease payments as well, like the Model 3, how you can get it for $349 a month with zero down with a lease payment. And so they're using that 7,500. In fact, all the electric vehicle companies, or all the people that sell electric vehicle like Rivian, Lucid, they're all using that 7,500 to get to a lower payment. And so, I mean, certainly if you feel like you need to get that 7,500 locked in, maybe try and think about a plan by the end of the year. But at the same time, like, I really feel like Tesla, Elon has said he doesn't care if the 7,500 disappears, and he also wants it to, it's fine. He says, like, go ahead and delete it along with the oil subsidies as well. And so we might get into a situation where it goes away. And, I could easily see Tesla just dropping the prices even more to try and figure out how to get more people into Tesla vehicles and everything. But let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know what you're thinking. If it goes away, the 7,500, are you going to be basically not interested in an electric vehicle at all because of how much? I mean, 7,500 is quite the penny. Let me know what your thoughts on that. Comment down below. If you're planning on financing your Tesla, then there's one thing you need to do before you even apply: protect your credit. Seriously, because here's the wildest part. Bank of America just had a data breach recently, and they didn't even tell customers for a month. That means your social, your phone number, and your email could have already been out there, and you'd have no clue. Most companies wait on average of 277 days to report a breach. That's 9 months where your identity is exposed and you're the last to know. That's why I use Aura, today's sponsor. Aura constantly scans the dark web and lets me know if anything tied to me shows up: my social, bank info, or any of my personal information. And that's not just for breaches. There's so many different tools I use with Aura. Want to reduce those pesky spam calls? Aura's got it. Want to remove your data, like your addresses, phone numbers, from those sketchy broker sites? Aura has that too. They will also include $5 million in identity theft insurance, and everything's packed into one clean app. You can try it free for 14 days at aura.com/DennisCW. I'll put that in the description as well. Don't wait until someone else tells you your data is at risk. That's like turning on Sentry mode after your car got keyed. Protect your credit before you apply. I'm doing it, and you should too. Thanks for everyone. And certainly I asked Grok before we got on stream, I forgot about this, but the 7,500 federal tax credit, it ended in January 1st of 2020. So this is not the first time this has happened. The phased out period concluded with Tesla reached 200,000 units. The credit came back on January 1st, 2023. And so we've been through times where there was a credit and there wasn't a credit. And now potentially it could be ending at the most interesting time, because you guys know that Q3, Q4 is always the time of the year with the most sales and everything. And if there's that looming 7,000, like if the bill gets signed and the end date actually happens on December 31st, 2025, there is definitely going to be a rush on Tesla vehicles, because people are going to want that 7,500 locked in and everything. And that's kind of part of the reason why we bought the Model Y. We got a launch series because we didn't want to leave it up to chance at all with the 7,500. But now that, it's been introduced, we've got at least a over 6-month runway that if it passes, I mean, now it's on top of your head, that it potentially may happen by the end of the year. U-Haul, thanks for coming in. Blueberry, thanks for coming in. Great to see you. Marlo, great to see you. Jill, Payne, Rio, great to see you. Ernest, thanks for coming in. Pink Max, Oren, great to see you. Beastin, Gregory C, great to see you as well. Thanks for dropping by. RC, S2K Roma, JJ, H Reem, thanks for coming in. And RC, thank you all for dropping by. Thanks for hitting the like button. Let me know, do you guys think this will actually pass? I mean, certainly, you know what? Let's ask Grok on what do we think it's actually going to pass or anything. With the new bill that was introduced today, what are the probability odds that it will get passed. Give me, yeah, let's try that. 7% of bills pass. Okay, this is just, it's zooming out way too much here. Okay, anyways, you guys get the idea. We'll see. Get my $4,000 used EV tax credit. Yeah, it seems like they're trying to kill that as well. Jill, do you think any Model Y demos will hit inventory? Yes, I think by the end of this week we will see some. I've been searching every single day, have not seen any of them. Payne, I got a 506 credit score, planning on jumping to 680 by the end of the year. Then I'll be able to lease. Nice, Payne. Keep working on your credit, pay off those credit cards, clear up that debt to income. That's the biggest part. Ernest, what's up? No more credit. Does anyone remember when creep and roll were removed from pedal dynamics? Ooh, I don't know when it was removed, but I know exactly what you're talking about. They changed it now that you can kind of set the regenerative braking, but certainly they turned off that as well. Yes, U-Haul year end, we might see the 7,500 ending. Pink, it'll be good till the end of this year. Thank goodness, at least from what it seems like right now. It still hasn't passed yet, but they did put a date on it on when it potentially could end. Oren, yeah, this was one reason I pulled the trigger on my new Y. Picked up this week. So excited, Oren. Yes, if you don't want to leave anything to chance, you might as well try and lock it in and get these 7,500. Gregory, my full self-driving trial is up and I'm heading out of town for a couple weeks. Will I lose any settings, Sentry recordings, and if I let my subscription last until I return from my trip? No, you should be good. You've got like the SD card in it or the memory stick in it. You're supposed to actually leave it plugged into a charger when you leave, but because it will start to lose battery every single day, and you should have it be not trickle charging, but at least plugged into a charger. I mean, I've gone on like 7-day trips. Well, you're going on a couple weeks. Yeah, maybe I would try and track that, because if you leave Sentry mode off, you're still going to lose like 2 to 3%. But if you're leaving for 2 weeks, then yeah, I would try and figure out, maybe just leave it plugged in if you can. Remove credit, lower prices. Yeah, U-Haul, that's like my conspiracy hat. I feel like even if the 7,500 is removed, Tesla will just lower the prices because they know it's an affordability thing, and affordability is going to be lower payments for more people to get into there. Oren, it took 4 days for me, but qualified for the 1.99. Congrats, Oren. And I was actually just talking to, I think, Dream, or I guess I won't give it your situation, but it seems like you don't actually need the full 15% in some situations, which is really cool to see. And maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. S2K, 7,500 tax credit is here until the end of the 2025 years. At the moment, yes, that's how it says. RC has a final date for the end of the tax credit been announced yet? Sorry, I came in late. Yes, it seems like 2025, December 31st, at least what it's written on the bill, but the bill has not been approved yet or signed or anything. And so certainly it's going to take a little bit longer, but at least now we have some sort of document to tracking the pace of it. And I mean, Congress bills, they can take 30, 60, 90 days to get through, and then they get signed and everything and passed. So I guess we'll see what happens when it gets up to the vote with all that. Not interested in EV unless MSRP gets lowered by 10K, JJ. Nice. Yes, 100%. Let's see. Hit the like button. Yes, thank you, U-Haul. Why do you use Grok? It's the worst model. JJ, I just use whatever. I actually have ChatGPT. I pay for it, but certainly I just use whatever is the quickest sometimes, because it's not like I'm actually going to be doing any crazy research. All right, just got my Model 3 Performance. Love it. When doing the ordering, I got approved in like 5 minutes. Nice, RA. Congrats. That means you have stellar credit. Even if it doesn't approve immediately, it doesn't necessarily mean you don't have stellar credit. It just might mean that your delivery date is way too far out, and so Tesla Finance doesn't feel the need to work on it, because they don't need to, because your delivery date, it could be 2, 3, 4 weeks out. Usually Tesla really takes a look at your credit when it's like 1 week out, or maybe even less than that, really. In this next topic, there's been an interesting test car that has been spotted at a Tesla factory, notably the Giga Texas factory. Could this be a test prototype mule, or really there's 2 vehicles here that look very, very, very interesting. Joe posted this. We've got some more pictures from whatever the heck this may be. You can see like it's almost like a shell at this point for whatever it may be here. But like they removed all these different parts. The wheels are showing with Model Y rims, and very interesting look. It seems like they remove all the trunk parts on top of that. But certainly Tesla did reply here, and they said the best part is no part, talking to when they talked about manufacturing and everything like that. But I don't know, pretty curious to see what it potentially could be, and let us know what your thoughts on it. I mean, are you waiting for this affordable vehicle on when it's actually going to be coming out, or maybe it's not going to be coming out? Now that you've bought your Tesla, or you're about to buy your Tesla, did you know that it comes with 0 accessories? Seriously, not even a phone mount. But don't worry, we've got you covered. In my opinion, there's a few must-haves that every Tesla owner should get, like a phone mount so your phone doesn't fly off during acceleration, a center console organizer because without it, you're going to lose a bunch of stuff, and my newest favorite, an invisible underscreen station mount from Joah, a great place to store sunglasses. And all of these accessories plus more you can get from our partner Joah. And you know these accessories are good because I actually use all of their stuff. And if you use our promo code down below in the description, you can save some money and support the channel as well. But Joah doesn't stop at just the basics. They've got a wireless game controller that fits perfectly in the glove box, a portable air compressor for peace of mind on those long road trips, and even an electric scooter, because why walk from the superchargers or level 2 chargers? So not only will you save some money by using our promo code down below in the description, you can also get free shipping on orders over $120. So definitely check it out, link down below in the description. Thank you to Joah for partnering with us on this channel, and let's get on to the next topic. Thanks for that, everyone. And it seems like I went ahead and did this while we were taking that ad break, but so probability of House passage, 70%. Probability of Senate, 20%. Senate passage must attach to a must pass legislation, 60%. Presidential approval, 90%. Imagine that. And combined probability in the end, let's see, what, like 38%. So basically almost a coin flip if this 7,500 federal tax credit killing bill actually gets through and everything. So very interesting to see. And let us know what your thoughts. Do you think it's actually going to get in or out? Or maybe assign your own probability percentage down below. Let's see what else we got. Nothing gets enacted quickly in Congress. Logan, yeah, so it's going to be a while. And, you know, if you're any, I think we're going to stay the course, and incentives are still going to be around. 1.99% is still around, at least I would say, until the end of this quarter. And really, it's just going back to that. If you feel uneasy and you don't want to deal with, you know, the drama of it actually getting passed, and really, I mean, you got until the end of the year at this point, because unless they try and like up the date or anything. JJ, Model Y doesn't even sell now. Imagine what happens if the 7,500 tax credit gets removed. Yeah, 100%. It's just going to make it even more expensive. Neil, if the new Model Y had more battery, I might have picked it up. Trading in my 2021 Model Y with the 2K loyalty credit. Yeah, I think that elusive number, you know, the more and more I think about it, I used to kind of be in the camp like, you know, as long as you have a home charger or a level 2 charger at work, you know, 300 miles, maybe even 250 miles might be okay. But the more and more I think about it, that's only okay if you live in like metropolitan areas like cities, LA, you know, the big cities. There's a lot of people in like the Midwest or South that, you know, there's a big road trip culture out there where, you know, get in, you know, uncle's car, or get in the car and go drive to your uncle's or grandma's or whatever. And so I really feel like we have to get back to that 400-mile range, at least for mass adoption for all those other places. Like if you just want adoption in like the city areas, then yeah, sure, 250, 300 miles is perfectly fine. But if you want country adoption, then we got to get just bigger batteries and of course more chargers. I think it's both of the problems have to be elevated. QAB, Elon once said that he cares more about selling volume than margin, so I can see Tesla lowering prices if the tax credit gets axed. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel like they would be okay just selling at a loss because they've got full self-driving opportunities, all these other things, subscriptions to maybe help with the profitability. And once full self-driving actually gets to a certain pace and everything where more people understand and see the ROI when there is ROI, it will make a huge leaps. But at the same time, you know, Elon and Tesla, especially Elon, seems to be going in a different direction with robots and, you know, all these other things, robo taxis. And so maybe he's also just shifted his direction and goal, and maybe car sales is not the goal anymore. Rick, do you think quarter ends June or September could have some better deals? September and then also December. As we go through every single month, year, or whichever it is, the deals always get better by the end of December. The only catalyst right now is if this gets passed, there will be natural demand in which people will understand and see that, hey, this 7,500 federal tax credit is ending by the end of December. I need to go buy a Tesla. There's always going to be a rush like that if that actually happens. In this next topic, there's a brand new Tesla app supercharging feature. There's a new update, and now you can see even more information if you're looking in the app to see all the different features with the Tesla supercharger sites around you. New Tesla app feature, shout out to Arthur for posting this. You can now see detailed supercharging info even if you're not navigating to one. I usually do this from the vehicle, but very cool to see this. You can do this from the phone app. Just being near a charger brings up the new info box in the app that shows time of day pricing because they're switching to that. Busy wait times, which is really nice because you kind of only see that on the vehicle. So I could see this being used like if you're at the office and you're going to be going home, you want to see which one is the best one. I could see that being really nice. Which stalls are out of order and a quick option to report any issues because believe it or not, even though Tesla superchargers have a 99% uptime, there still could be issues at them and it could be broken superchargers or whichever. So really cool to see this. Let us know if you've interacted with this already and how was that experience on your new Tesla vehicle with our new supercharging app or whichever the case may be. But one thing's for sure, if you're buying a new Tesla, it does not come with this, and that's a set of all-weather floor mats. My favorite set so far right now is a set by 3W Liners, and I've tried all the different floor mats that are out there, 3D Mats USA, Tasmanian, and a bunch of Amazon ones, and by far, these are going to be my favorite set. I've got them in our Model X, Model 3, Model Y, and also Cybertruck as well. And if you use our promo code down below in the description, not only will you save 25% off and get a set under $100, you'll support the channel as well. So definitely check out our partner 3W Liner floor mats down below in the description, and let's get on to the next topic. Thanks for that, everyone. Let's see. Ernest, I've got a Legacy Model Y bought in March of 2024. I'm hearing some creaks when the car flexes when coming in and out of driveways. Has anyone cleaned or powder coated the seals? I think there's a way to like lubricate them, but you could also just bring it to Tesla service and have a service technician get on a drive with you, and you can try and explain that what's going on happening, and then see if they can do so. I did that with my Model X, and they lubricated something. I think it worked for a little bit, and then of course it came back. It's just age with these vehicles. Terrence, thanks for coming in. Best deals coming at the end of the year. What do you think? Yeah, 100%. I think we're going to see a mixture of like 0% financing, full self-driving, free supercharging, inventory discount, everything. I think Tesla's going to throw the kitchen sink at everything for all the different incentives. But we shall see. You can show my numbers, no problem. No, thank you, Atrium. We'll talk about that tomorrow then, because I think a lot of people might be interested to see that you actually don't need 15% down as a whole. And Atrium, your numbers show that. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Trevor, I just saw the title. Is the 7,500 tax rate really gone? Yes, as you can see from what we're sharing, there is a new Senate or new drafting of a bill that's been submitted, and we have to see if it's going to get approved or signed or not. And it seems like a Grok thing thinks there's about a 38% probability that it might actually go through. Those pictures definitely look suspect. Yeah, 100%. I'm still waiting on the Model Y Performance. Sakre, thanks for coming in. Yes, now I'm like really confused. When are these different models? I mean, I would love for just Tesla just release banger after banger after banger. Like, I mean, they're kind of on a roll, right? Like January, Model Y release. March, Model Y Launch Series delivery. April, Model Y Long Range All-Wheel Drive release. May, Model Y Long Range Rear-Wheel Drive release. I guess June will be the third row in the Performance. July, Model S. August, Model X. I guess we could just have like a bunch of releases every single month. That would be fun to see every single month as we go through it. But of course, maybe that won't be happening. That'd be too good. But hey, you never know, right? Brandon, I just put an order with your referral going an hour ago. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you for the support. If anybody else there is looking to order a Tesla, don't forget to use a Tesla referral code, just like the one down below in the description, so you can get 3 months of full self-driving added to your Tesla order and everything. Just north of you, almost no level 3 chargers on Highway 99 north of Bakersfield. Oh, really? I've driven to Bakersfield all the time, even Fresno. There's chargers all along at least like the 5. Well, I don't know what the highway is, but yeah, maybe not north of Bakersfield. Maybe in a certain direction it cuts off. Notice how quiet Elon's been lately. Brand damage is real, but stock price recovery is even more real. Hold on for dear life. Yeah, the stock is doing good today, at least from what has been over the past week or so. But yeah, certainly, I think Elon is refocusing again on the two different companies or the 10 different companies he's in, whichever it is. And we maybe will see a lot of changes over the next month by month, quarter by quarter. Logan, talk about coin flip. Buy a 3-year-old car with 25K for full self-driving, or save with a tax credit but add 8K for a new Tesla. Yeah, the argument always is between like new or used, and I really think it's how are you paying for it. If you're paying cash, then yes, used could be a great option. If you're not, then could be a little iffy for sure. Atrium, just use your code to get 3W masks. No, thank you. Thank you for the support. And definitely check out our video on that where we reviewed the floor mats for the 3W and the Model Y. Rich, I'm picking up a Model 3 rear-wheel drive on lease in the next week or a half. Any words of advice or suggestions? It was a great price and seems like a great car. Yeah, the rear-wheel drive, that is one of the Teslas I highly recommend. You literally cannot get better than a deal like this. I mean, of course, 0% is great. 1.99 is great as well. But when you've got a lease, 0 down at $349 a month, or last month it was 1,000 down at $299, it's not a no-brainer, but it's a great first option. Like if you have any sort of anxiousness about getting into a Tesla, short commitment, 2 years, drive the vehicle, let Tesla deal with the depreciation, give it back to them, and then figure out your solutions or options after the 2 years. And hopefully by then you'll understand electric vehicles a little bit more with the charging and everything, and really see, is it worth it or do you like it at the end of the day? In this next topic, 0% financing actually exists for a ton of electric vehicles and vehicles. Let's take a look at all of them just to see what else is out there in terms of deals. Electric posted this, all the electric vehicles that you can buy with 0% interest financing this month. They posted this on their website here. So we got the Acura ZDX, very interesting. I guess like a Model Y competitor. I've yet to check out one of these. I've definitely taken a look at the Honda Prologue. I think it was nice. I mean, 200, 300 bucks. I'm down with that, which they were giving a lease special for. Chevrolet is offering 0% on 60 months. The funny thing is, I actually saw one of these people, someone was driving one in person. I was like, oh, wow, that's actually really cool. But yeah, I've only seen one of them out there with that. We've got Dodge Charger. This vehicle, I definitely would not finance at 0%. They are giving these vehicles away. I mean, payments as low as $29, $99 a month. I mean, hey, for that type of payment, I don't blame you at all if you're looking to get into one of these just for fun, to really try it out, and instead of like a Model 3 or Model Y. GMC Hummer EV, another vehicle. What's funny about this is all these vehicles that are 0%, they also have really fantastic lease payment deals as well. So I'm not sure I would get any of these and finance the big amount of payments or whatever it is. I think I would just lease one of these instead. But you can see Hummer EV, we got 0% for 60 months as well. On a Prologue, we talked about that, 0% for 72 months. Hyundai Ioniq 6, 0% for 48 months. Kia EV9. I also want to check out this one as well, 0% for 72 months. Lexus RZ, we got 0% for 72. Nissan Ariya, 0% for 72. So Subaru Solterra, which is already getting a refresh, 0% for 72. Volkswagen ID4, 0 for 72, and that is the full list. But the one thing is, I would definitely challenge you all, if you're looking to be buying one of these, definitely take a look at the lease payment as well, because I've definitely seen a ton of low payments for some of these vehicles that are out there. But let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know what you're thinking. If you've driven any of these, test driven or explored it, let us know what your thoughts on it and what your thought was besides getting that, or besides getting a Tesla vehicle instead. If credit goes away, I'm going used for sure. That's an interesting thought, because if the tax credit, the funny thing with that is like the tax credit, the 7,500, I really feel like doesn't really affect the used market as much as I would think. Like it's really weird. Like there's a Model Y. We talked about the Model Y, the launch series, 60K, 52 after the tax credit, but there's already like 4 or 5 used Model Y launch series for sale, and they're priced like 52 to 54. And so it's really weird to not see it like being priced lower because I feel like there's a lot of people that qualify for the 7,500. And so maybe the people that are buying used are people that don't qualify for the 7,500. But it is interesting, like if both of those credits disappear, what will that do to the new market and also the used market? And maybe prices will go back to normal, or maybe they'll say, because there certainly is a floor right now between that like 10 to 25K price point for used electric vehicles, period, because there's that elevated pricing between the two because of that $4,000 tax credit. George, huge fan. Thank you for all your help. Help me understand how bad the lease is. Thank you, George. Thanks for coming in. Model 3 Performance or Model Y, what is your recommendation? Terrence, if you are single or maybe just have one significant owner, other, and maybe a kid, Model 3 can work. If you love speed, driving, tracking, and all that stuff, Model 3 Performance can also work. If the answer is anything else to all those questions, then Model Y might be the better move for you. QM, they need to refresh the Model X to a size or shape that competes with the R1S or Tahoe. QM, funny you bring that up because yesterday we went to go test drive a R1S because I have not driven the Rivian R1S Gen 2 yet. I drove the Gen 1 and it's just, I think, I really like the Rivian brand, the vibe of it, the colors, the materials, fantastic luxury cars. But yeah, the technology is just not as smooth. And then the suspension, I think I just don't like that body on frame off-roadish type of drive. I want something more comfortable and, like maybe like an Escalade electric vehicle is, one of those comfortable vehicles. But that R1S, just something about it, it just wasn't jiving with me. And also my wife hated it as well because it doesn't have steer bar, it doesn't have four-wheel steer, even though the steering radius was okay, but she was really complaining about the usability of the technology and the screen and everything. It was like it just wasn't as snappy compared to like iPhone or Tesla. Jill, does 3 months start after the first month? I should be ordering this week. Yeah, it stacks on top of all that actually. Live, I'm in TX Texas, do you think they'll lower the interest rate on the Model Y rear-wheel drive with the 7,500 federal tax credit? Yes, but my guess on that is 2 months out from where we're at right now. And so it's not going to be anytime soon unless inventory or orders are not where they want it to be. And then they might beef it up with some incentives, but they need to get those vehicles on the ground first and need to see like what's their inventory pipeline. So I would give it maybe we might see something at the beginning of June for any sort of incentive for the Model Y rear wheel drive. In this next topic, Cybertruck demand is slipping. We've got a new prediction here or analyst from the first quarter or some data from this that actually says that there has only been 2,000 Cybertruck sales in April, which is a crazily low number. Electric posted this Cybertruck sales slump as EV prices rise and incentives dry up. We can see here new EVs got a little bit more expensive in April. Consumers saw fewer deals than before, according to Cox Automotive. And they also said that they are estimating that Cybertruck sales only was able to sell 2,000 units, but sales dropped to 2,000 units for the first time in a year, signaling a potential cool off of the controversial pickup. And so that's why we're seeing like low lease payments. And that's also why I think we're going to see some big incentives on the Cybertruck coming up very, very soon as we get to this end of quarter and next quarter as well, because there are big discounts like Cybertruck all-wheel drive. You can get $8,000 off on 2024s. They still have foundation series Cybertrucks in inventory, and they've got Cyber Beast at almost $11,000 off as well. And so certainly there are deals here if you know where to look and if you know how to stack it correctly. Made a video about that earlier today, so definitely watch that if you're interested in picking up a new Cybertruck and stacking all these different incentives. But the one thing is for sure, if you're looking to buy any Tesla, don't forget to use a Tesla referral code just like the one down below in the description, so you can get 3 months of full self-driving added to your Tesla vehicle on top of that. But let us know what your thoughts on it. Are you going to be buying a Cybertruck or are you waiting it out? I've got a couple friends that are actually interested in buying Cybertrucks right now, and a couple of them got great, fantastic deals. I'm talking like $8,000 off, plus the 7,500, plus the military, plus the loyalty, and much, much more. But I would say unless you're getting something like that, you might want to hold off just to see what happens, as like we could easily see some sort of financing special in the next, maybe this quarter or next quarter as well. But let us know what your thoughts on it. Let us know what you're thinking. IG, would you happen to know how much it would cost me to upgrade my panel to 200 amps, running about 20 feet of wire to set up a Tesla charger in my garage? I'm in SoCal. That is a great question, and I would actually like highly recommend you to contact Smart Plug EV. Mario, the owner, is a friend, and we've made plenty of videos together. And he's of course done work on our house. I went through 3 different chargers, not because the went bad or anything. Well, the first one we did, it was a wall box, and then I realized, you just got to get Tesla. But Mario specifically has done, I wanted to say he told me like 40 different panel upgrades, but more specifically, 40 different panel upgrades in which SoCal Edison paid for that panel upgraded through an incentive that he has really good knowledge about and can help you with the process and everything. So definitely hit up Mario, Smart Plug EV, and see the number right here down below, and ask for the Dennis deal so that he knows where you're coming from. And on top of that, he's Tesla authorized, and so you get 4 years of warranty when you go through him to install a Tesla charger. And it just makes so much sense to go through a Tesla authorized person. It might be more expensive than a handyman, but I mean, I've heard horror stories of handymen maybe potentially using the wrong wire or whichever they may be. And electrical stuff, I get a little anxious about. So definitely hit up Mario at Smart Plug EV. And I don't know the exact number, but I know there's a $4,000 incentive that he can hook you up and get you set up for. Neil, 25K or lower with or without the tax credit has got to be worth it for almost anyone for just the fuel savings. Even at many public chargers, it will save compared to gas, not to mention maintenance. Yeah, as long as you're not paying like 10% interest or something crazy like that, because that's what used vehicles could potentially be at. Tesla 54 is, well, then I got to get my Model 3 Performance before they almost lease one today, but Tesla seems to be playing around with lease numbers on payment. 2000 down, 3-year lease, $926 a month. If I buy it, it's about 900. Yeah, Tesla 44, that's what I've been saying. Like, I feel like if you can find one that's tax credit eligible, that's like the colors that eligible, you might as well just finance it at 0%, because it's not free money, but it is free money, but you're still spending money, but it is free money. So certainly. What's the reason for the new Model Y not selling? JJ, great question. I think it's doing okay right now with the 1.99% financing. But yeah, I mean, we've still got tons of them in inventory. So I would be curious to see, like, because Tesla's not showing the inventory in terms of like the raw numbers. I guess that's an interesting, like, what is holding back from people? I mean, of course, now people in the comments, because I read through all the different comments on the videos, people want 0% financing. And I imagine that is a common sentiment, and it's going to happen. I really feel like 0% financing is going to happen by the end of the year. So all those people that are saying, like, I want 0%, I'm not buying until I get 0%, they're going to get it by the end of this year. Insider, if I charge my car to 80% with Sentry mode on and a few hours it drains to 79 plug-in, is it a big deal or concern? It usually drops a percent and then stays there. No, maybe the Tesla chargers or the chargers charging it back up and just leaving it be. George, what are your thoughts on Hardware 5 AI5? Is the current Model Y going to support unsupervised full self-driving? I think it is. It seems like everything is pointing to that direction. I think they're going to be starting. You know what we will see is when this robotaxi starts next month in Austin, what type of setups, because people are going to photograph and try and really analyze those vehicles, like what kind of cameras and everything are on it. And so maybe that means we should make a trip to Austin, actually. JJ, I barely see any Model Ys on the street. I'm seeing a ton of them in California, actually. Kate Crumley, are the new affordable EVs that can seat a family of 7? The Kia EV9, I think, is a third row, and great deals on though, I would imagine. Don't buy Teslas for 3 months. Let them sink, Andrew. Yeah, I mean, the deal will just get better. MR, you think waiting for next quarter is worth it for Model 3 incentives from Tesla? I mean, the Model 3 incentives, it doesn't really get lower than 0%. The only argument I could see at the moment is like if you want front camera, which could be coming for Model 3. We just don't know when. That could be a while from now. James, they'll be giving away them soon since worldwide demand is falling fast, since everyone thinks Musk is an a-hole. Yeah. The funny thing is, people forget very easily as well. So we'll give it, 3 to 6 months. We'll really see at that point. Glass, loving the Juniper. My full self-driving expired today. Autopilot seems good enough, to be honest. For highways, it's great. What about also premium connectivity? What's your thoughts on that? Worth it? So for a while, I was telling people, because I would just have a hotspot or use my phone and just connect to that using that for the hotspot for the car. But then I really started falling in love with satellite maps, or at least I really like it because I like it because you can zoom in and out and see where you're going, and I like seeing the real world when I'm driving on the map. And on top of that, like when you're going to an area and you're going to a unknown brand new spot, and you don't know if it's like a parking garage or a surface lot or whatever, you can zoom in to see the satellite, which I think is a really good use case that I use a ton. I think it's just better than like the Google map or the fake map that really is shown. So unfortunately, you have to have premium connectivity to do that. So it's like a $10 thing just for my sake of expectations where I'm going. I think I'm gonna wait till the end of the middle of next month when my quarter ends. When the quarter ends, my Lexus I'd sell 15 bars, call me in 20 minutes. 5 minutes later, I listed it, but I'm gonna wait till next month. Yeah, Lexus's any vehicle or specifically Toyota and Lexus's in a certain price range sell like hotcakes. So demand is 1000% there for you in those price ranges, whatever. But thanks for jumping in, everybody. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for hitting the like button, the comments, and everything. And I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.